Hello, my name is Ty. I am your homicidal chauffeur, and welcome back to Stellaris Federations, where last time we met the Galactic Congress and also managed to make a few new allies, all the while expanding our science progress. And at the very end, we elected a new chancellor, Katerina Gambadori, and reformed our government to a democracy. As you can see, we've reached the limits of expanding our empire, and this episode will be more about managing the Congress and seeing if we can find any more allies. I know that civilizations are going to start battling for space pretty soon, and we also have the mid-game crisis coming up. We have a new faction that has been gaining traction in the internal landscape of the Galactic Human Directorate. Led by Governor Jane Clancy, they call themselves the Xeno Reform Council. They've been pushing hard for friendly relations with alien species. I feel like we've been doing okay with that. So the Xeno Reform Council is only at 9%, but they're not approving of me very much. What can we do to improve that? So we have a couple issues here, some more palatable and worthwhile than others. The biggest one is no purges, affects faction approval by minus 25%. We can look into that, that's a pretty big jump. We also have indirect study of primitive species. Native interference will affect their faction by 5%. And all refugees welcome, which we famously changed earlier in the run, would get us another 10%. And finally we have federated, which actually isn't affecting them at all, but I have been trying to do with the Avtiran for quite a bit. So the number one priority is to outlaw purging. Right now, our policy is that it is not our responsibility to see to the needs of those who would undermine the foundations of our society. Let them find their homes outside our borders. Or, the purge is an atrocity and should always be treated as such. We don't have any other species in our borders right now, except for the artist troupe, but I'm happy to prohibit it. And right now our policy towards native interference is unrestricted. Even the most primitive life form is but another actor on the stage of galactic conflict. Or I could have passive study. Primitive societies have the right to exist and evolve at their own pace, free from the control and designs of others. I'm also happy to change that. Now that gets them up to 60%, and they're actually on my side more than anybody, and we haven't even had to change our refugee policy. We finished the administrative offices on Kruger Oceanum. That gets us 2 bureaucrat jobs, and I think that's plus 10 apiece for administrative capacity, meaning we're finally back under our empire sprawl at 80 out of 84. And while we're here, we're no longer an oligarchy. Kruger has not been chancellor for a long time. So this world is now known as Oceanum. Back here at the galactic community, the vote for the readied shield comes up in 634 days. But we still have other proposals that are coming to the floor potentially. The most popular of which right now is actually Pan-Galactic Recycling Initiatives. Diplomatic weight from economy minus 20, pop consumer goods upkeep minus 5. I could really use to save a little bit in my consumer goods. So can I support all the ones that I want? No, I want to support that one, yes. Buzzword standardization is diplomatic weight from economy plus 20. I also wouldn't mind having form the galactic market. Let's go ahead and support that. And I'm still supporting cooperative research channels. So that seems like plenty for now. I'm really liking the Galactic Senate. I feel like it adds another strategic layer to the gameplay and also some variety here in the early to mid game when you're done exploring and things can kind of get slow. It looks like we're also having a problem with unemployment on Oceanum. So can I go ahead and get another district in? We're not hurting for housing right now, so I'm going to go ahead and get a generator district. You can never go wrong with more energy credits. And there was an issue where that would contribute to sprawl, but that's no longer a problem.
Science Division report success.
But we are done in science a couple times over, maybe. We finally got our destroyers in, which is excellent news. We have engineering researchers plus 20%, or exotic gas refineries. We can also get an insight into the L Gate, considering that is right on the border of our empire. That seems like a good idea. Or space torpedoes. Torpedoes are always fun. Let's go ahead and learn about the L Gate though. And over in physics, we have a lot of options for our corvettes and whatnot. Gravatic sensors or a listening post on our starbase, that could be good. Or we can get a fusion reactor. We have an option to unlock chemical plants or hyperlane breach points, hyperdrive 2. Unlock starbase building hyperlane registrar. I'm not sure what that does. Assist friendly ships in the system with FTL travel by identifying ideal conditions for entering the hyperlanes and optimizing the projected travel routes. Our fusion reactor is the cheapest and will unlock new power generation as well. So let's go ahead and get that. So that will be our research for some time. I created worker jobs when I built the power plant and we still have unemployed specialists. Doesn't seem like there's much I can do to fix it right now. The Uko-Praknor Republic and the High Kingdom of Yan have ended a rivalry. That's probably good. Speaking of rivals and whatnot though, I'm extremely friendly with the Avtiran. Is there any way that they will let me in? They will not let me in on the Federation. They will offer a migration treaty, however. Although it says requires positive relations, I don't think I can get. Currently have neutral relations. At plus 266. I'm not sure how much more positive it has to be. I don't even really want to do that. I'm just trying to figure out the diplomacy system. Okay, had a little bug with our science ships, but they're back online and doing some excavating. But in the meantime, once again, we've reached the limit of our storage capacity. I would love to be able to sell off some of these minerals in some kind of galactic market. I don't know, sounds like a good idea. So instead, I think on Terra, I'm going to go tear down some of these mining districts. We have 4 of them. Replace one with a city district. And one with an agricultural district. And one with a generator district. And meanwhile, I'm going to go over here to Matsunia Station and upgrade this starhold. And that will give us more slots where we can put silos in. And I can also get a trade hub in here and get some more value out of that. And the Galactic Senate has passed the resolution. Let's have a look and see what's going on here. The Senate is currently in recess. So we have 710 days to vote on the next proposal. Buzzword standardization is currently in the lead. It looks like I'm right in the middle of the pack when it comes to diplomatic weight. Yep, and we've also got plus 10 to naval capacity. Actually, first let's look at the designer. The ship designer. We have new destroyers in. And they come with medium mass drivers on the gunship bow, along with one small red laser. More mass drivers on the interceptor ship's stern. So compared to the Corvette, where we have 3 small guns, and right now 2 of them are lasers, and then we have the small mass driver, which is only a level 1. Right, so we want the Corvettes to swarm. charge straight at the enemies and do as much damage as possible from point blank range. Here we have the level 1 mass driver, but it's a medium along with 3 more of the smalls. I'm going to put a blue laser here because that's a step up. Meanwhile, we want the destroyers maybe to hang back a little bit. I'm not sure what the range is on these weapons. 75 for the big one and 50 for the smaller. So if we hang back in a line with the destroyers, they'll only do mass driver damage. But with the corvettes focused on damaging the shields with energy weapons, it should be a good strategy. Make sure we get some better armor in here too. New ceramic metal armor and improved deflectors. We can get improved deflectors on the corvettes as well. So starting with the second fleet, we can go ahead and add ship to fleet. We want a destroyer. Ideally, I'd say like 5. I don't know if we can come anywhere close to affording that. Destroyers are only 220 alloys, so we can come close to affording that. Let's say 4. We'll get 4 in. Yep, we're producing 4 destroyers right now. 3 at Sol and 1 at Vinjim for reasons I don't understand. Okay, get rid of that one. Check back on that soon. Meanwhile, let's get the first fleet in Matsonia. Matsonia has almost 2 years to go on the upgrade to the starbase. Let's just leave them sit for now. Oh, and we've got new traditions coming in. Feels like it's been quite a while. Now that we're back under our Empire Sprawl, I think that's gonna sort itself out a little bit. I've been looking at the pursuit of profit here for a bit. Specialist pop resource output increased by 5%. Seems obvious for the moment. And finally, we have archaeological done. A scan of the habitat's logs reveal its control system was activated again on multiple occasions decades after the life support was disabled. The data pad is filled with frenzied thoughts of someone on the brink of madness. Who am I? What happened on X-Berlin? The final entry reads, "Now that I know, I must forget one last time. Perhaps the orb will reveal what was forgotten." Alright, our second fleet has been upgraded with 5 destroyers. We still need to upgrade the corvettes though. That will cost us 92 alloys for 20 ships. Meanwhile, over in Matsonia, we're mere days away from upgrading that starbase. Further studies of the lost civilization of Sirius 4 have given rise to more questions than answers. The plain, sturdy structures are thousands of years old, and all seem to have been constructed at roughly the same time period, perhaps as brief as a single century. The oddly punctuated development of this society seems to show no appreciable change in population size.
Construction complete.
And there we go, we're done in Matsonia, which means we can go ahead and get... I want another shipyard in here, as well as a trade hub. And then we're also going to get new resource silos. When the shipyard is done, we can start upgrading the first fleet in Matsonia itself.
Science Division reports success.
And new science coming in. The fusion power generator is done. So we have an improved reactor booster. I'm not sure we need that right now. We could get a boost from energy credits from our technicians. Or a brand new disruptor which fires high energy bolts that weaken and destroy the molecular bonds that hold the target's atoms together. They are capable of passing through shields and armor to wreak havoc directly upon the enemy hull and crew. It's the most expensive research, but probably the biggest upgrade as well.
Ships refitted.
And our second fleet is done. Military power all the way up to 1.6 thousand. And that is the max for our fleet at the moment. And the Senate is now in session. Buzzword standardization is being voted on. Do I know how much of my weight is due to the economy? That is critical with this resolution. I do have a decent amount of trade value though. Let's go ahead and support. I can always change my mind. 1,400 days until the next session. The orb's first memory shows Dr. Soraya spearheading the development of the Memorex to great acclaim. Another memory from years later shows her secretly wiping Memorex data for unknown reasons. Then another memory is of Soraya working frantically on restoring the residents' memories, but to no avail. They stare emptily ahead, heads rolling, all but their automatic brain functions lost. Finally admitting defeat, she hides the evidence of her crimes. She watches alone as Expelin residents are pulled into the gravity well of the gas giant it once orbited. Feelers secreting large amounts of mucus in what is believed to be an alien expression of great distress. We have at least one more chapter. So with our rearrangement completed on Terra, we're back up to plus 14 energy credits, and even though we're maxed out on the silos, we're at 21,000 and only gating 55 a month for minerals. We've also increased to plus 13 food, and we're still at plus 6 for consumer goods. So I think that's a great place to leave off. We've made some huge strides in upgrading our military and also some crucial advancements in our tech. I'm getting really interested in the Galactic Congress. I wish it was a little bit more frequent. We haven't had too many votes yet. And despite our impressive numbers, I feel like we still need to sort out the economy a little bit. We have unacceptable levels of unemployment. So maybe that will be the focus for next time. We'll try to get the economy on track before we face any more major developments in the galaxy. But for now, my name is Ty. I am your homicidal chauffeur. This has been Stellaris Federations. Thank you very much. Please like and subscribe, and have a good night. For the moment, we're in food danger, but that won't last too long. It's not going to go well for you, my friend. I'm sorry. Here's Maddox, and he puts that just inside the far post. Either that, or we'll set off some more aliens, but either way. We can. And that's job done.